Hey guys, by this point in the class, you should know how to set up your own newsletter document and work with columns. And you should have been used to by now all the instructions I give and like making sure you're looking over the grading checklist to make sure you have everything you need in your upcoming newsletter. So, what this video is just to talk about best practices and things I see people doing when creating the newsletter. So, hopefully, you can avoid the pitfalls. And I'm using this student example. I have permission to use this one, it's one of my favorite ones. And what's happening here is a couple of things. First, always a newsletter is going to have this kind of big headline area that has a cool name. So this is Snooze News. This is for an app that she pretended to create called Snooze that helps people to fall asleep. And it should have like the edition information. And notice that it's well designed, it's within her branding colors, and it does take up a lot of space, and that's okay. You're pretending this is your very first newsletter. So with this newsletter, I require that you have one major article and two minor articles. One of those articles has to be about the company because it's introducing you, since this is the very first newsletter. So she chose that her major article was about the company and how she started it and why she started it. So yours can be the minor article, and maybe you have a big article right here. Now, I'm going to say this because this looks really good, but actually it's a lot of text. And a lot of students think that they have to fill this thing with text, and that's the only way like a good newsletter happens. And it's actually the opposite. We want good content that we can consume very easily because people are busy. So this is about the max of text you would want for your major article. And notice how she uses space to have the connect with us section, a big image. So images are your friend in newsletters. And especially if you're pretending your business is a visual industry, whatever, like products that you create, then maybe you're going to have bigger images or a bunch of images of your products or whatever. So always your major article though should be on the home page because that's again your major article. So it shouldn't be buried on the second page. So you have to make sure that if you have a minor article also on your homepage, that it doesn't look like it's a part of the major article, or it doesn't look like it is the major article when in fact it is the smaller article. So you have to use those design principles to make sure maybe like your minor article or your major article is these two columns here and it has a big headline, whereas your minor article might be down in the bottom right hand corner and maybe it has a shape or a different color behind it and it has a smaller headline. So as we go to her next page, and notice that she has pagination, so she has page numbers here. I don't know why there's page numbers here and here, so I would put them in at least one place. But here we have the two minor articles, and she very uniquely used her wrapping to actually wrap the text with both articles. So you should have one image that is a different shape, not just a square, because if you wrap a square, it just still looks like it's not wrapped. So you can use a circle, or I think I've shown you guys videos where I did like, you can do text wrapping with like a shuttle shape, a flower shape, whatever. So it'll wrap around anything. You just have to know how to do it. So make sure you review that video. So again, she's using images, big images. You can even go a little bit bigger. And notice how easy these articles are to read. I probably would break this up into 2 paragraphs in my opinion, just because it's one big run-on, is that what you call it? A run-on paragraph. But notice that these both have titles. Now, with this is not a writing class. I do expect that everything is spelled correctly and it's at a college level. But I would, if I were you, I'd go to Chat GPT and have it help me write short articles. And if you put in the prompt that you want a short article about yada, 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 or you want a short list of, 10 ways in which to calm your mind for sleeping, then I would use Chat GPT. But what you need to do is, with the author credit, first of all, you should be taking that content and rewriting it so it's your own content. But if you use Chat GPT exclusively and don't really change a lot of it, then make sure this says taken from Chat GPT. If you did some modifications, then put your name modified from Chat GPT. So you should always inform people that that's where you are getting some of your content. And she went even further here, and any information, like you can see she had a fact right here. She actually referenced it here. So that is important that you do that, because if you're not creating this stuff from the top of your head and you're having facts in there and that's not a fact that you have figured out on your own, then you should always be doing that. So if you want to avoid doing that, which I'm not gonna lie, when I was in college I hated doing this kind of stuff, then I wouldn't write anything that had like super facts like that. I would just be talking in generalities. And so she didn't know what to do with this bottom left corner, and I would prefer that you not try to create even more text for us to read. Just come up with something different, like a quote, or a list of 3 things that might help them that's related to the topic. So, or even put a big picture in there, even though I don't know, that kind of be conflicting to have 2 pictures right there. Or just have an announcement, or here's some way that you can sign up for yada yada yada. So be creative with your content, but what I'm trying to say is it doesn't have to be this much text, and you can kind of have Chat GPT help you with that. But it's more about, can you lay it out nicely? Is it organized? Can I see that this is the main article? Do I know what edition this is? Is there a way that I can contact this company further? Is it on brand? So that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the design and layout. Is that you can create this for a portfolio, and you can tell a company that looks at your portfolio and is thinking of hiring you as their designer, you can show them that you can take their content and make something like this for them. You don't necessarily have to write the content yourself, but you can make something nice with it.